All right, it's time for our weekly visit with Alabama's Terrion Arnold, the cornerback. Joins us each week, courtesy of CraneWorks, RentalWorks, and WasteWorks, one of Alabama's big players. Says rent from the big dog with CraneWorks, RentalWorks, and WasteWorks. What is up, Terrion? How are you today?
I'm great, man. How y'all doing?
Man, we're doing awesome. First of all, we'll start with the congratulations on the SEC championship. Everybody focuses on college football playoff, but winning the SEC is still a massive accomplishment.
Yes, sir. You're right about that.
When you start, I know Nick Saban is a process-oriented guy. I don't know if you have personal goals or those team goals. Does the SEC championship make your goal list? Is that something you make as a goal, or do you say, hey, if we win every game, we win that anyway?
Nah, I don't make my goal list. I say national championship at the front. I don't really go by national championship and those smaller goals. I feel like I just go into play with that because obviously if you win a national championship, you kind of have to win an SEC championship because, you saw what happened to Georgia. Even with that one loss, they dropped to 6.
So if you're a college football fan, Sunday was a lot of drama. We were up here in studio. We did kind of a selection show watch party. When they threw out that number 4 Alabama playing Michigan in the Rose Bowl, we heard yells throughout the building here. I'm sure Tuscaloosa was wild. But you're a Tallahassee native. And I know you had to feel for Florida State being on the outside looking in. Are you friends with some of those guys on that roster?
Oh, yeah. Keon Coleman, Joshua Christopher, Jordan Travis. I know a couple players on the team.
Did you talk to any of those guys after the fact?
Oh, yeah. I told them to keep their head up, man. When I go out there and play, we'll be playing for them. I'll be playing for them. And, you guys just lock in and continue to keep handling up. It's just one of those things where I'm glad I went on the other side of the stick. Because, I know if that was us, I'd have been like, dang, man. Probably,
How confident were you, though, going into the show on Sunday? Were you 90-10? Was there a little bit of doubt that you guys weren't going to get in?
50-50. But when I seen them put Texas at 3, I said, we in. I was like, we in. I was like, when they did that, I was kind of thinking in my head, okay, so they're looking at as far as pedigree and body of work. And, if they would have put Georgia at 3, then I'd have been like, oh, man.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you, that Georgia game, that game plan seemed to be so good. Why do you think it worked so well defensively against all their offensive weapons? What clicked for you guys back in Atlanta?
They were just talking about how dominant their offense was, and the whole week we were just focused on going out there and playing our version of football. Obviously, they saw what happened with Auburn running the ball very successfully, and we were like, they did that because of us. When teams beat us, it's because of us. I don't think it's a team in America that could just line up athlete on athlete and say, let's go. As they would say, let's go tick for tack, toe to toe. There's not a team in America that could do that with us. So, with all of that being said, even us buying in the lane, hey man, we were at this stage freshman year. Still remember it like it was yesterday. Man, Alabama's not the same Alabama. Alabama can't do this, can't do that. It was just something that we went out there and said, man, we built for this, and we built for moments like this. And as they always say, a humble man is a hungry man. And as they would always say too, when you got nothing to lose, we had nothing to lose in that game. Nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like I said too, why bet against us? Out of all people to bet against, you see Coach Saban's track record. You see it. Why?
And now you're playing Michigan, who loves to line up sometimes 7 offensive linemen on the field. Sometimes it looks like 8. Playing Georgia and the way you guys played physical, in a phone booth with them, does that help you as you prepare for Michigan that, hey, we can do that with them as well in the phone booth?
It definitely does help us. But the thing with Michigan is they're very, very successful, and they do a very, very good job of running the ball. So we'll definitely be looking forward to the task at hand. And, games like that, they get you going. They're going to come out there to play. It's going to be another heavyweight fight. And as I would say, you're in the Rose Bowl, and the Rose Bowl is legendary. So with us going that far, as we continue to preach, we ain't come this far to come this far.
Terrion Arnold joins us each week, courtesy of CraneWorks, RentalWorks, and WasteWorks. The big guy says look for the big dog, CraneWorks, and rent from them, CraneWorks, RentalWorks, and WasteWorks. I want to ask you about one of your teammates, because when Kool-Aid went down, Trey Amos comes in the game, And I just noticed on the play he comes in, of course, he gets matched up with Brock Bowers, as it would go, right? Bowers coming out of the backfield. Carson Beck, it didn't look like, ever took his eyes off Bowers. I mean, he's going there from the jump, and your guy is blanket coverage. It makes a great play. The play of Trey Amos in that game was massive once McKinstry went out.
Trey's a dog, and Trey's a great player. He's one of those guys. Trey's like a silent assassin. Like Kool-Aid and I, we gonna get up there, talk to you, be in your face. Trey, he killed. Don't really say too much. He gonna laugh. Like a couple games where I was at Star and he was in that corner. Like I'd be out there, he'd make a play. Say, man, Trey, talk your talk, man. Like, man. I'd be like, all right, man, I'm gonna talk it for you then. So I mean, he's one of those guys, man, just a great overall dude and a great person, comes every day ready to work. And it's just like one of those situations where preparation and hard work meets opportunity. So with that being said, as soon as that happened, Trey knew, everybody in the stadium knew. I was like, Trey, you know they coming at you. Like, I mean, as a corner, it's like, dang, that's a good feeling. Like, perfect example. I was on the show talking to y'all about Lad McConkey. When he caught the quick corner route, he gave me a look. So as soon as he gave me that look, I'm like, that's all you get. That's all you get. like I literally, his mouthpiece, because he didn't say anything. Like his mouthpiece was in, and it is crazy because like I think about so many different situations in the game. Because as soon as he caught that ball, I said, yeah, he thought about what I said.
He saw the show. Ain't no doubt he saw the show.
Yeah. Hey, so Lank is. Go ahead.
I said, but I was saying, but then on top of that, though, you go back and look at it like before it comes out your mouth, like you know what you're saying. You know guys gonna see that. And like that's just the perks that it has as far as getting yourself ready to play. And I kind of feel like it's one of those things like a Deion Sanders, like a Jalen Ramsey, talking to guys like that. Like Jalen, used to text guys' girlfriends before the game. I feel like now it's 2023, so I mean that's a little different. I ain't that crazy, but just that's what come with the game and makes the game more exciting.
So Lank is heading to California. Have you spent any time in LA? And I know it's a business trip, but if you get a minute to do something, is there something you've always wanted to do out there?
I want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen and I were talking. It's a lot of good food places in Cali. And, I mean, if I get the chance just going out there and checking something like that out there. And, obviously just being in Pasadena, I don't really know much about it. When I went to Cali, my aunt lives in San Diego. So one thing about it I would say is the weather. Like, it's different. I'm from Florida, where it's moist, and the weather, like, you sweat a lot. And Cali is kind of like, I would say dry. And it's kind of like not really friendly, but I mean, it's an amazing place. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm very, very excited that we playing on grass instead of turf.
Yes.
I bet.
They do a thing at Lowry's Steakhouse, the big steak eat-off competition between the two teams. I think it's on the 29th on that Friday night. I'm worried about you guys. I don't know if y'all can eat steak like the guys from the Midwest. You guys think you can hold your own against Michigan in the big steak eat-off?
Come on, man. This team is full of dogs. And it's full of straight competitors. And now that you just told me that, I'll make sure I send in the group chat, hey, on this day, we're not eating breakfast. We're not eating lunch. We'll be eating steak.
We never followed up with you. Did you ever give Nick Saban shit about playing the accordion?
Oh, did I? Oh, my goodness. I wish I could have seen his face when I said it. As soon as I said it, he looked. He said, how'd you figure that out? I was like, man, I was doing an interview and they told me. And then the same story that they told you guys, I mean, he went and said, well, what actually brought me into playing the accordion was my aunt. It was never by choice. It was never by choice. So when I gave him, like, he looked at me like, how did you know that? I told him everything though. I was like I told you, I was like, I'm gonna troll him. Like, we were sitting right there, walked in there, and it was kind of like because I was at his house with like a bunch of freshmen. So it was a couple freshmen and a couple more older guys. But obviously, like my teammates and stuff, they had other places to go to for Thanksgiving. And I told Miss Terry I was coming. So with that being said, when we came, man, everybody was just sitting around watching the game and stuff like that. And it just first started off, I said, Coach, you yelled at me today for this, and I didn't do nothing wrong in this. And then he was like, yeah, when I look back at it, man, you didn't do nothing wrong on this play. And then, like I'm at his house now, so I'm taking an in-depth dive. I'm like, if I didn't do nothing wrong, why did you yell at me? Well, I didn't see it then, but now I see it. Oh, okay. Then I just brought it up. I said, what's crazy? I didn't know you was in a marching band. And then he was like, like his favorite thing is I realized at first, like sometimes he really doesn't hear me because obviously he's getting older and stuff like that. So he'll be like, excuse me? And I was like, Coach, you were in a marching band. And then he was like, how do you know that? And then that's when I went on and told about y'all.
I'm sure he loves us.
I know he does. Terrion, thank you very much. Congratulations again. We'll talk to you next week. You were presented by CraneWorks, RentalWorks, WasteWorks. He's one of the big guys, says rent from the big dog. Have a great weekend, Terrion. Thank you.
See you, man.
Man.